Welcome to the MercGoat Conspiracy. Today we're going to have some fun. We're going to make you think. And we're
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Do-do-do-do-do. There they are, standing in a row.
Bump, bump, bump.
Big one, small one, some as big as your head. Give 'em a twist, a flick of the wrist. That's what the showman said.
Yeah!
Show tunes brought to you by Ginger. Speaking of free advertising, today we're drinking Mackenzie's hard cider. It's the seasonal with nutmeg and cinnamon, and we all love it.
We might actually stop doing the podcast after this episode and just sit here and die of alcohol poisoning drinking this stuff.
We might fuck each other because we need females in the
It's
area.
liquid apple pie.
We definitely need females, and yes, this is actually fantastically liquid apple pie.
I'm a big Smith & Forge fan. That's my hard cider of choice. I think that's better than Angry Orchard, but this shit, I can't even, like... If I had the choice between drinking a whole barrel of this in a night and having sex with, I don't know, Emma Watson... Sorry, Emma, I'm going to be drinking.
I'm going with Emma.
Yeah. I'll still take Emma Watson. I'm pretty sure you could drink with her after.
Or maybe do both. Multitask.
Or do both.
I mean, this stuff is so good, you might make the mistake of sleeping with Emma Watson, quote-unquote, wake up and finding Hillary Clinton next to you.
You don't taste the alcohol at all.
Not a bit.
Dangerous.
Which is death and danger.
We are pounding them down pretty quick here, so this might be a pretty fucky show. Moving into the Ingress hardcore moment of the day, Zorn.
Well, as you know from listening to last week, I currently have a hole in my side and bleeding profusely. So my specific ingress moment of the day was I was going out and we have this wonderful woman that we like to torment, along with many other people. We actually picked someone named Bendels today to screw with. Since I don't have much movement, I went out and camped out at his couch portal. What that means is he can sit on his couch and hack the portal. So I destroyed it multiple amounts of times and just started redeploying on it while he's getting pissed off ever so much. And then I just sat there and recharged it for, 10, 15, 20 minutes. And then I had all of my boys start to go by and put in resonators for me. So, unfortunately, I did not get to go out and do stupid things, but I did piss someone off.
And that's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
G.I. Joe!
If someone's not angry at us in Ingress, it's just not the same.
Yeah, we didn't do our job that week.
Supposedly, what was it? Mike was telling me that there's a war going on right now. I don't know who started it right now. I think, is that Ingress who's talking about?
There's always a war going on. It's a war game.
But he made it sound like there was actual heavy conflict now.
Well, if you ever join, you get the notifications. It's like in India, they're like battling each other constantly.
Yeah, genocide over Ingress.
They like to blow themselves up over there, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kills me to see that.
So it's Ingress, live mode.
That's real hardcore mode. Anu Akbar! Boom! A giant green cloud.
Damn it! Enlightened are winning. For the resistance.
But they won't be in the sequel.
Moving on.
Not even DLC?
Well, speaking of people dying when they weren't expected to, apparently a wrestler got killed in the ring in Mexico.
From my understanding, it was their Mexican... I don't know, is their wrestling league, I don't know the name of it. But
He's basically our equivalent to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, he was becoming big, from my understanding. Mm-hmm. And during a tag team match, it looked like, where Rey Mysterio was on the opposing team. Everyone knows Rey Mysterio, famous WWE wrestler.
Yep.
He kicked him just before 619 to the neck, and he fell onto the rope, and that was it.
Yeah, he set them like he normally does, but the kick landed wrong.
Yeah, it was to the side of his neck instead of actually...
Yeah, and normally it was 619. He doesn't hit you in the face. He goes right above your head.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you kind of just fall over and you take the pin. This kick, because his partner landed down to it, his partner ducked out the 619. The guy took the 619 straight to the face, too. So it could be a combination of both. They are saying like it's the kick what initially killed him. Because he was pretty much dead on arrival.
Yeah, he just laid there. So, and then I think there was an extra minute after that where they're kind of
they're still doing the match.
Even
the ref didn't call anything.
Yeah,
Ray's sitting there
bullshit.
poking him and pushing him, pulls him off the rope, and he just fell under the mat.
And supposedly he was a significant guy out in Mexico.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like the Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan out there.
Yeah.
Now, I hear the wrestling company wants to sue Rey Mysterio for involuntary manslaughter. Now, I personally don't think that's right because they step into the ring knowing full well this could happen at any time.
That's lesser than when Tony Stewart hit that guy with his tire.
Yeah.
But still, you walk into the wrestling ring, you know you're going to get injured. You know there's the chance of death. You know that's going to happen.
If Tony Stewart didn't get in trouble for hitting that guy with his tire, this guy's fine.
Well, it's Mexico, not America.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I mean, look at Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, where they literally ripped him out from home. Ripped him out, threw him in jail for I forgot how long. And
2 years after it happened, too.
Yeah, 2 years after it happened, with very bad footage where several different crowd angles show different things almost.
Mm-hmm.
I actually started watching that documentary. I haven't finished it yet.
As the palaces burn, phenomenal.
Very good. So far, I'm going to finish it tonight, probably.
I remember when that happened, and it was just before they went on the Gojira Death Clock tour, and that it was almost. I was devastated. We all the metal world kind of was like in shock, like what the fuck is going on? Because I'd say Lamb of God is probably the biggest metal band to take on the torch since Pantera, and after before that Metallica.
The way they sell records without any radio play is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, and they're phenomenal.
Have you heard Lamb of God?
I have not, actually.
I haven't heard Lamb of God in years. Back in high school. I graduated 2006, so it's been a while.
Going retro now, huh?
I grew up with them. I forget how old some of their albums are.
I didn't listen to them prior to Sacrament because the very first episode of Headbangers Ball I watched, I believe that it was the day that they debuted the Redneck music video, and that was my first experience to Lamb of God. And granted, a lot of people don't like that song, but that was what got me into them.
I think that's where I first saw them was on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
Probably not the Redneck music video, but I think they were playing a song on there.
I got into them before they got really big when the song Black Label was
Was
released.
that off of the New American Gospel?
Yes. That was before As the Palaces Burn, the CD, and that's what got them huge.
Yeah. That was, I don't know, that was I think after Guar took them on tour, so maybe that was where they got some exposure.
I heard Black Label in a sampler, and I thought it was okay. I never really got into them, and then I heard 11th Hour from the second album, and they're like, this is the band right now.
Yeah.
These guys are unstoppable. That album, still my favorite from them.
Oh yeah, solid. Doesn't stop.
Although, what's the third one?
Ashes of the Wake.
That's really close.
Those two like almost go hand in hand. I mean, Sacrament's good. Wrath was the first time I saw them on tour.
My mother's stepdad's best friend actually owns a recording studio in New Hampshire where they recorded Wrath.
Really?
Yes.
Is that where they recorded? Huh?
In New Hampshire, Disneyland Studios.
Huh.
So my stepdad's best friend got to record with them
That's nasty.
in New Hampshire. Like
That's
10 minutes from my mother's house.
That's pretty cool. That's nasty, dude.
If I wasn't unavailable at the time, I probably would have went up and met him. That's like how close of friends.
And then we would have been friends with another
and we
band.
were friends with Lamb of God.
Yeah, not just
Because
another
we're not
band.
good enough friends with Dog Fashion Disco yet.
Or Boba Flex.
Or Boba Flex,
Or-
Downtown Brown.
No, we're not good friends with them at all.
Well, speaking of endings, since, a wrestler had a nice ending, Justified ended last week. One of my favorite shows, Modern Western. A lot of people like it. I thought the ending was great. A lot of shows did not end well, though. The first one that comes to mind is The Sopranos.
Or the cut midway half through a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched. I want to watch it. It's on my list of things to watch.
Sopranos?
I never
Yes.
watched it. I just knew how it ended, and I heard it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I heard it ended shitty
It's a
too.
It
horrible ending
disappointed
to
a lot
a
of
wonderful
people.
series.
I mean, I've heard very few good shows that have had great endings because and it's usually by taste, but a lot of people seem to be in sync because I guess they're expecting more. Maybe it's just out of anger that a good show is ending. Like Lost, people would not shut up about that show when that first aired.
Oh, yeah.
People still don't shut up about that show. But
I
when
make people shut up about that show.
what?
I make people shut up about that show.
Well,
I heard that the ending sucked.
that was the
horribly,
thing.
too.
That was the big thing. Everyone was so disappointed. People told me to watch the show.
Ooh, they were all dead.
Yeah. Everyone told me to watch the show, but only
Spoilers.
watch the first 4 seasons. I'm like, why am I going to watch the first 4 seasons and not finish the show? That's stupid.
As bad as those endings are, the worst is Dexter. The ending to Dexter, one of my favorite shows of all time, is just so bad.
That's another show. I
We're
heard
just
that
actually starting it right now.
I have 2 friends that know how bad the ending is, and they watched the final season, because the final season itself as a whole isn't bad, it's just that last episode. And they stopped and watched every episode minus the last episode, because that's a better cliffhanger than how bad the show ended.
Dear God, I've seen Dexter
2
all the way
people.
through until the last season, so
So you didn't see the last season?
I did not see the last season.
Watch it until the last episode. That's what 2 of my friends did, and I recommend that you follow.
Oh, fair enough.
Because the ending will piss you off and make you want to delete the whole series. My friend, who is a bigger fan than me, deleted the whole series. He sold all his DVDs because of the ending.
Wow.
Yes, it's that bad.
I mean,
I'll tell you seriously, that won't piss you off, and that's Daredevil.
Yep.
Oh, Daredevil's freaking amazing.
so 3 out of 4 of us have watched it. And on top of everyone who I know about you guys, I haven't seen a bad review for it. Start to finish, it's awesome.
It is.
It's probably the
Get you in for the first of it. First episode, right in. Second episode, why is he half dead in a dumpster? You know, they just, boom, right there. Like, from the get-go, it's like, what the hell?
And it's violent as fuck. Like,
the only reason it's TVMA is because of the violence.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not
violence everywhere.
Have you ever seen a man get decapitated at the car door? I haven't until I saw Daredevil.
Yep. Watch Daredevil.
The take on Kingpin was so...
I love the guy who played Kingpin. He did so great because he's just like solemnly spoken, then he gets like angry, and he's just like...
And he's like a real person. He doesn't realize that his motives are evil until, later on.
Yeah. No, he knows what he's doing isn't good. He realizes that he has to do evil to perform good.
Yeah, but he's trying to perform good, and it's not till later.
But he realizes he has to do evil he has to be evil to perform good. Well, because the outcome would be a positive.
I like that it's not only just growing Daredevil, it's growing the Kingpin as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, both, and mind you, and this is what I said, and a couple people agree with me on it, I've seen the Batman origins several thousand times, through movies, TV, through, the comic books. The portrayal of Matt Murdock's origin story, I think, almost had me in tears.
When I saw at the end of the second episode, I was tearing up with that.
Between getting the acid in his eyes, and then when he's there with his laying watching his father die,
he's dead.
I'm intentionally zoning out right now because I'm the one that hasn't seen
it. It's all good.
It's phenomenal. Just watch it.
Even when Stick came back,
really. I'm going to start it tonight. Right now, I'm just thinking about giving him his 4th insulin shot from drinking all that sugary beer. Because I don't want to ruin the show for myself. So, you guys don't exist right now.
Oh, that's excellent.
But it's honestly, if it goes on the level of what Marvel has done, it's definitely Guardians and Daredevil are their two best productions, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wasn't sure if they're taking the Daredevil from the Max universe. Because as you know, Marvel has Max, which is basically the mature version.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's where they're getting this Daredevil from.
They might be.
From how violent that was, I'd assume so.
Yeah, because, Marvel has Max, DC has Vertigo.
Yeah.
But the thing about Vertigo DC is you never see their primary heroes in Vertigo. It's always a new set of people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get your Preacher. That's where you get your Constantine. That's where you get your iZombie, which is now on CW. DC's taken over basic cable. I think Marvel's going to take over Netflix.
Yeah, because now...
Marvel's going to rule Netflix.
At the end of the season, at the end of this year, there's going to be another show. I'm not too ever since I read Civil War, I've gotten really into comics.
Yeah.
But right now, at the end of the year, they're going to be coming out with AKA Jessica Jones.
Yep.
Next year, I think Iron Fist or Luke Cage or both of them comes out. They're pretty much,
both of them.
From my understanding, it sounds like they're getting ready to set up because the next show after that is The Defenders. And if I'm not too sure, but I think they're kind of all
merging.
I think they all are part of the Defenders one way or the other, whether it be an older incarnation or a modern incarnation.
Well, some of them are Marvel Knights, but yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. Because, I don't think the Defenders may do well, might not be as popular as the Avengers. The Avengers is one of probably in the top 10 grossing movies of all time.
Yeah.
1 point something billion in, sales. But, no, Daredevil's great. Another great ending after 30-something years. I haven't gotten to it yet, but I've heard nothing but great things, was MASH. I'm still watching MASH.
Yeah.
Laugh at me. But...
It's a great show.
It's a great show. It's funny. I see why it lasts. It was one of the first TV shows to really last a long time.
My dad loves MASH.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Even the movie that started prior to it, whole new cast except for Radar. Radar is the only one who played in that. He even had his own show, Walter, which had a pilot. Didn't go further than that. But it's just a good show. Alan Alda's a great character who actually found out he's on Blacklist.
Interesting.
So, MASH, another good show, good ending.
The Shield. The Shield ended pretty well.
Shield ended well. That was another,
Zorn, do you have a show that ended well or not well?
Well, let's see. I watch a lot of weirder stuff. Personally, I think back in the day, there was a controversial show called Roseanne.
I remember it, but I never saw it.
That was very odd and dubious end to the whole seasons. But Roseanne was meant to actually push boundaries. Also, there are a lot of animes that I watch. I don't know if you guys watch any of those.
Well,
Anime or hentai?
Anime, actually. Okay. Anime. I've seen my share of hentais. I actually won a bunch of money one day because I actually sat through a hentai. No one else could. But you just gotta shut that morality sensor in your brain off.
What morality sensor?
You are talking to the conspiracy right now.
That's true. But personally, I think that a lot of the stuff that I've seen has just been very lackluster endings. But I do agree with S.H.I.E.L.D. being, as you guys said, one of the more interesting endings.
You did see the Shield.
Yes. And Lost also sucked, but...
You're the only person I know that's seen the Shield besides me.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been on my list for a while. I just haven't gotten to it.
Got the ending it deserved. Basically, without ruining it, everything they did caught up to them.
Yeah.
Slowly, but it did.
Well, that's...
Did any of you guys see Battlestar Galactica or anything in that vein? Babylon 5?
Babylon 5's on my list. Farscape's on my list. I started the first season of Battlestar. I don't know if I actually finished it.
Babylon 5 was also a fantastic, whole ride. Everything kind of came together.
You would like my brother, because he watches all that sci-fi kind of stuff like that. He's seen every Star Trek, every Babylon 5, every Stargate series, Farscape, Andromeda, at least twice in their entireties. Any shows that you can think of that had a good end that you enjoyed?
I try and keep up with shows, but I usually lose track on the last season. I loved Psych.
Mm-hmm.
That show on USA. I love Psych. I lost track around the last season because it ended when Sean's father got shot in the back of the head, and that's how the season ended.
I highly recommend that if you haven't seen these shows and plan to watch them, you don't listen to this. We are full of spoilers.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know how it ends. I have the last season saved on Netflix just so I can watch it, but I just need to get around to that now that I'm finished with Daredevil.
Well, moving on, we're going to start a new segment this week. It's called the Conspiracy Segment. Big surprise.
About time we have one. We're MercGoat Conspiracy. We're talking about any conspiracies whatsoever.
It's kind of like Aqua
6
Teen Hunger
episodes
Force.
and no conspiracy.
We've been sitting in this bunker for 10 weeks,
This week's conspiracy involves everyone's favorite retail store, Walmart.
So let me jump back to last week. I saw an article online that talked about 5 Walmarts that had mysteriously closed for no purpose at all. I'm like, okay, whatever. This happens.
They claimed it was plumbing.
They claimed it was plumbing. I'm like, okay, sure. It was on just a site where it's not really a mainstream site, but it's kind of they throw some far-fetched ideas. I'm not saying that they're wrong, but they're you definitely got to do some research into them. So I was reading this article yesterday. Actually, it was a follow-up article, and it talked about how somebody actually went into one of these Walmarts. There's 5 Walmarts that closed. There's one in Los Angeles, California. There was 2 in Texas, 1 in Oklahoma, and there was 1 in Florida. Now, somebody went to the one in LA. First and foremost, they got there, and the front door is heavily guarded, so is the back bay.
What do you mean by heavily guarded?
They said heavily guarded, but when I saw it...
What's the difference between heavily guarded? Is there 8 Walmart employees with fucking blue badges just hanging out? Or is there
Yeah, they had 8 greeters. Welcome to Walmart.
Get the fuck away. Or was there guys with AK-47s and missile launchers?
They said heavy. I looked... There was 2 sheriff's cars in front of the entrance. And in the back, it looked like there was a trailer, kind of like a construction office trailer, kind of sitting in front of a couple of the bay doors to block them. I'm like, okay. So then this person went inside with a video camera. Because, let me clarify, these are still open because people are still getting their prescriptions from the pharmacy.
What would it be without people with their oxycodone?
Mm-hmm.
Bath salts. Anywho, they have the front doors closed off. They actually have black canvas over them, so you got to go through a fire exit that's opened. You go in there, and what the video footage showed was a whole bunch of empty shelving covering, isolating this little part off of the pharmacy, and you couldn't see past it. You could not see what was going on the other side. It was just, I didn't know how high it was up because the camera was kind of crappy, and a person was sitting there shooting video for a bit. Finally, someone came in and told them to stop recording. Now, they had to leave immediately because they weren't getting a prescription. But it's kind of sketchy. 5 Walmarts closed for no reason with plumbing issues. Now, Merc was just reading a follow-up article to that just earlier.
They claim it was because of labor strikes. We're going to seal off the store Make it so you can't see through the windows because of labor strikes.
Now, I've seen this movie, and it's called Godzilla. That's all I'm saying.
I'm personally for zombies. Bath salt zombies.
You're right, because they're probably on sale for $12.48.
If you do bath salts, there's a good chance you go to Walmart. Just saying.
So it's bath salt zombies.
We gotta watch the IGAs, because if the IGAs start doing this, we know it's zombies.
Yeah, no, that's bad. IGA's Price Right. I don't really know. Dave's would be, well, that's more of a local thing. Stop.
Aldi's maybe?
Aldi's.
Although you see a lot of expensive cars outside Aldi's. I don't know why the fuck. Hey, a brand new Hummer.
Hey, look, somebody's
look,
Ferrari.
A Corvette. I see more nice cars at an Aldi's than I do crappy cars.
It's because they're saving money on meat. That's what it is.
Aldi's a nice place to shop. It's not, it's like...
I hate the bring your own bag policy. I really hate that.
Bring you what?
Bring your own bag.
Look, I work in wholesale. We don't believe in bags. Actually, it's in our contract not to bag your product. We put it in the carriage, and if you have bags, you do it.
At BJ's?
Yes.
That's fucked up.
No,
And then
but...
they kick you in the ass and say, get the fuck out.
No, but... Looking from a business perspective, for us, it actually saves money and time and money.
Yeah, I get that. Like, it's saving the company money by not buying bags.
Yeah.
I understand that.
But also, you're buying in bulk.
Mm-hmm.
You're buying in bulk. Some people aren't buying a couple things of toilet paper. You're going there. You probably...
Well, don't work at a warehouse department store.
But you know what?
If you need to buy toilet paper from BJ's, you need to stop eating so many burritos.
Or stop having so many kids. So...
Or both.
That actually brings you back to something I was telling Merc earlier. I know this one girl, she got 13 kids and no TV. I think the bitch needs a TV.
What?
How do you have 13 kids and no TV? Are you living in the 1950s?
Nope. She's living in the 2000s and change. I had two 12-year-old cousins. They're both pregnant by the same guy.
Oh.
Both of them pregnant, both 12. I hung that guy out the window by his neck, and he married one of them. But
One time when me and Leah were going to see her mother's house, or to her mother, she's like, lives in, elderly housing. The nurse at the front counter thought I was Leah's child. Now, my girlfriend, if you don't know, is younger than me by about 4 years. Here I am, this scruffy-looking, 26-year-old male next to this girl who's, early 20s, and this woman looks like, is this your son?
I actually had the same thing happen. One of my local business associates, I was with a female friend. She's actually a year older than me. Oh, thank you.
you're welcome.
I was hanging out with my female friend, and I brought her to a local business associate's store, and he thought that she was my daughter. She's a year older than me. So I've been there.
Well, at least you weren't the son.
Yeah, it means I have a decent taste in women, at least.
Now,
I've seen your friend. She does look older than you. I don't know how we got that confused.
I mean...
I don't either.
My mother's been mistaken for my sister. But...
Same here.
My mother don't look... My mother's not old, but she don't look old either.
So Led Zeppelin's selling more albums than Taylor Swift, huh?
Yeah, I heard about that.
That blew my mind. Now, let me look at this again, because first and foremost, yeah, so they just reissued Physical Graffiti, if I'm not mistaken. That's their 5th album. I know. I like Led Zeppelin. I'm crazy, I don't get a hard on every time Jimmy Page plays a solo. I like my Zeppelin, and then it's not like Pink Floyd where somebody puts on Dark Side of the Moon. I will sacrifice anybody who's gonna come and interrupt the dark side.
I am a way bigger Floyd fan than I am a Zeppelin fan.
Yeah, I have always liked Floyd. I like psychedelic music, personally. Anywho, so they just reissued it, and as we all know, Taylor Swift is obnoxiously bigger than she should be.
And she lives in this fucking state.
Yeah, she's down in
Narragansett?
Westerly.
Oh,
Yep.
Good, far enough from us.
Yep, she has a house by the water, and it's guarded at the water, too, so people can't swim up on it.
Someone actually did try to swim up on it,
Yeah.
and they got in big trouble, which is fucking hilarious.
I also agree.
First off, you don't own the water, bitch. I can swim wherever I goddamn well please.
I can just imagine you with a t-shirt out there. You don't own the water. A big fucking Taylor Swift head with an X through it.
No, they'll be on a boat, on the sail.
Well,
just be in her backyard in my boat. You don't own the water, bitch.
So she has, I don't know, she put out a new album last year or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to her. Not important. But actually, this is funny because this actually was. These are numbers that are coming in from from New Ray Comics actually, in New England. For those of you who are not from New England, it's a New England-based
It's like
record
FYE,
store.
but better.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's starting to go down the tubes. Anywho, another time, another story. So, from Monday to Tuesday, October 27th, 28th, their sales indicated that Zeppelin's 4, probably their most famous album, has the Stairway on it, has Rock and Roll on it, has Black Dog, When the Levee Breaks, outsold the new Taylor Swift album 207 to 183. So 287 copies of Zeppelin's 4 to 183. Mind you, Zeppelin used to be big back in the day where you had vinyl and 8-tracks, and that's the only medium you can get your music. Now today people download a lot of it, and it's all digital, and you can steal a lot of it. But this is from a store. These are actual numbers. Swift is sandwiched between 4 and their other reissue, House of Holy, which sold 177. So the fact that this is coming from... I don't know if this is one Newbury Comics store. Probably more than one.
It's probably the
whole chain.
Area. Yep.
Probably the whole chain. The fact that they're selling that, they've sold that many copies. I mean, granted, 207 isn't as crazy as a number as it was maybe 40 years ago.
Didn't you say last year was the first year no album went platinum? Or something
Yes.
like that?
No album went platinum. I don't think... Maybe no artist went platinum. I think there were albums that went platinum, like maybe the Frozen soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think any artist went platinum.
I always had a question. How long does it take you before you're ineligible for platinum? What if you sold, was it $1 million for platinum?
I think it's $1 million.
What if it took
I think
you...
it's more than that.
What if it took you... We'll say it's $1 million just for comparison's sake. What if it took you 20 years to sell $1 million? Would you still get the platinum 20 years from now? Is there a time limit?
No,
Yes.
there's no time limit. It's just... As your album, like, say from okay, so the Beatles are like I mean, I don't know, they're probably like 1,000 times platinum.
Yeah.
Right.
If, say Dog Fashion Disco, say, they sold their first album that came out, the mid-late 90s.
So let's just pretend they got popular overnight.
Not even popular. Say 100 years down the road, something happens and that first album blows up. They sell 1 million copies. Let's say
They
a
can still
million.
go platinum.
They can go platinum 100 years after, 1,000 years after. The only unfortunate thing that they don't count is and this is a big problem. What Billboard does, because that's where all the numbers usually counted. That's what the RCAA uses. They only include CD sales, from my understanding. I don't think they actually include album sales. So vinyl records, I don't think are included. Digital sales are not included, which is stupid.
I know Billboard now keeps track of digital sales.
That's recent, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
But they didn't do it. They should have done that 10 years... When iTunes really blew up, 10 years ago, that's when they should have gone, okay, digital's big. Digital is a big, important format, and will be the leading format forever now. Unless... what format can outdo digital?
Well, they're probably hoping it wants to be like another 8-track type of deal. Everyone goes, it's like, oh, let's go 8-track, and, it falls in the shithole.
Yeah, but nobody...
Let's bring back laser discs.
Well, personally, I think vinyl is the best thing that there is.
Oh,
but...
I still have a turntable. I will not argue that. Personally, if vinyl was A, cheaper, and B, came with digital copies of an album, I wouldn't buy CDs.
A lot of them do. A lot of the small companies are doing that.
Yeah, and that's how...
You get the artwork, you get the best sound quality. It's awesome.
It is. I mean, I don't know if you... I'm assuming you've obviously listened to stuff on vinyl.
Yeah.
Yes. And, Ginger, you've listened to stuff on vinyl? No.
Sure.
No, I assume so.
That's the worst lie I've ever heard.
And obviously, I'm assuming you did, Merc. You've listened to
course.
stuff. And it just...
I grew up with a vinyl player.
So let me go... I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before. When what year? When was it? It was when the Beatles had first reissued all their albums on stereo. So mind you, I have digital copy of... I'm going to tell you the album, the CD I bought in particular. I bought Help. That was from 64, 65. I have the vinyl version, I have a digital copy, and then I bought the CD, the remastered.
Mm-hmm.
And I throw the album in, and I'm listening to it. And it's good, I'm enjoying it, but I'm really listening to it. I have an ear for it, Merc has an ear for it, I'm assuming you two have ears to really,
We don't have ears.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you two don't have ears. It just seemed hollow. Whatever had happened during the mixing, the remastering and the mixing of...
It's probably all the acid.
Probably the lack of acid. No, but I'm used to. I have no problems hearing that little scratch. You know, you put the needle in and you hear the scratch and the static going on.
Yep, and then it's good.
There's something going. There's a personality to it. Like CDs.
CD skip.
Kind of and that's CD skip. Tapes just suck.
Well, tapes break.
And based on the vinyl technology, you get those people that listen to pots from like thousands of years ago, and they can get little sound clips from it if they do it just right.
Yeah, I mean, it is 2015, and I'm not a big, science wasn't my strong point, but the fact that they were able to take audio and basically put it on make it tangible, and then put something that scratches across it so you can hear it, still kind of boggles my mind. Digital, it's technology, even as far as we are in technology, something as simple as an album still kind of makes me go, so we take something, we put sound out. I don't know.
I still love having a 128 gig card on my phone. That's ridiculous.
Oh, no, but that's great. If I could have, and you and I have talked about this, and if you and I could have a terabyte multimedia system, like an MP3 player, that like a terabyte on it, because we're like music cords, and then a turntable, that's all we'd need. That's all we would really need. But it's unfortunate that they don't count vinyl, they don't count digital sales, because the numbers would be different.
Very different.
I mean, granted, maybe Taylor Swift would still be at the top, but who's not to say that...
Because Taylor Swift has vinyl?
They put...
She might.
We should look that up. Next week, does Taylor Swift have vinyl records?
No, my question would be, does she know what vinyl is?
That's another good question. Well, keeping with the music theme, because we like to always do a lot of music, we've been talking about this lately. Are metalheads actually smarter than most people? I already know they are, but we're actually going to argue the facts. There was some research done with the top 5% of students, the gifted children, and I don't mean gifted as in, actually very smart kids.
Was that like a bastardized, like, human goat-like mixture?
Yes, Goat Boy. Goat Boy. Not Goat Boy gifted, actually gifted as in this guy might be a nuclear physicist one day. Regardless, a large proportion of this 5% are metalheads. A very, very large portion. Which kind of is a significant thing.
No, yeah. What was the following? Was there any other data that if the first 5% were metalheads, you said, what was the next like tier?
Classical, actually.
Which makes sense.
That makes a lot.
I would assume, and it could go in any order because I'm a fan of all three. People who listen to classical music, jazz, and metal, there's something more going
on in the brain.
There's something more going on. I started with classical music, and it was actually the reason classical music was a big influence for me to become a metalhead, because I listened to a lot of prog rock, and then I heard stuff like Dream Theater, which was progressive rock and metal, and progressive rock's very technical, is very orchestrated almost, and I like that kind of style. I like stuff in movements, and then just the heaviness of metal. It actually kind of played a key part.
Well, how many bands, including Metallica, have played with orchestras? How many metal bands have done that? You don't see country people doing that. You don't see rappers doing that.
No, if the rapper does it, it's somebody on a violin playing the same note for like 2 minutes.
It's funny that you mentioned country because we all here know who the Zac Brown band is, right?
Yep, sure.
Zac Brown himself is actually teaming up with people like Chris Cornell.
Yeah, he's
David
actually releasing
Grohl.
a rock album.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's,
But I'm not saying all country. I'm saying Zac Brown is probably one of the top 5% of country out there. He is actually talented. He can play guitar.
Yeah, he's number 11 of 13 kids.
That's a lot of kids. I bet they don't own a TV.
Exactly.
So you're saying we gotta get rid of the TVs to make our kids smarter?
No, we need to get rid of the TVs to make more population. If
we need to give kids more metal.
We need to put more metal in their ears and put TVs in front of the mothers.
Honey, come drill me. I don't have a television.
Stop. I'm just seeing my... Oh, man. I'm not going to even say what I was going to say.
I know what you're
cut
thinking.
down on the people population of America. Just give the woman a TV.
That brings us to John's metal moment.
Today's metal moment is brought to you by frogs.
Kermit the Frog here.
They actually
funny
found a
you mention
Kermit
that.
the Frog.
I know, I saw that.
Now, you would think frogs as not being so metal. My mom collects frogs, and which my mom actually does collect frogs. But they are, in fact, very metal. Some of the most poisonous animals out there are frogs. There's this frog that can... really tiny little bullshit frog. It could kill you. No, it's smaller than a poison dart. Like, it's completely silver. It looks like a drop of mercury.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and that thing could kill you. But what's really metal is the horror frog. The reason why it's called the horror frog is when this thing gets to a fear mode, it breaks its own bones in his hands, protrudes them through the skin to act like claws.
Whoa.
Yeah, like, it will break its hands to have the bone protrude out the skin and use as a claw for self-defense.
Fucking Wolverine there.
Yeah. Now, if that's not a metal thing, I don't know what is.
Don't forget the Mexican staring frog from Sri Lanka. Another South Park reference.
We have to make a video of South Park references.
Plus, you have frogs you can lick to trip.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
True. Lick a toad.
That's how you become enlightened.
So you got warts on your genitals.
Now a word from our sponsor.
Have you ever wondered where you can go for a good last meal and sharp knives? Well, look no further at Suzumo Sushimi Sushi Shop and Sushi Shop. We provide only the freshest sushi and sharpest knives. Now, you can eat a good place your sushi's been cut with the same knives that have been covered in the blood of your ancestors. Look no more at flying a Mitsubishi into an aircraft carrier, or taking an island that is covered with Americans and flamethrowers, or worry about the fate of your emperor. Now, you can enjoy your last meal and lie in peace. Sushi Sashimi Sushi Shop and Sushi Shop.
So welcome back. While on the commercial break, we took a look at Google. You ever get those weird searches when you're actually looking for something important?
Yeah.
Always.
That one, like, the dinosaurs are made by the CIA to discourage time travel or whatever. That's like the most popular one. So we all kind of looked up a really odd one just from typing in a word or two. We're going to start with Zorn.
So I typed in why. I know some of us did. And the first thing that came up was why there will be a robot uprising. So apparently this specific article is about proving the fact that artificial intelligence is going to take over the world. But of course this specific person, he's trying to say that we can stop it. It was written by a guy named Patrick Tucker on April 17th in 2014, citing the movie Transcendence among any other things.
Because when you need facts, use movies.
Exactly. So he's trying to say that the more logical the robot, the more likely it is to fight you to the death. So, interestingly enough, I'm sure he hasn't heard anything about Asimov's laws here, but I happened to be looking through this as we were on the commercial break, and I found that, well, apparently a bunch of people spout bullshit.
Wow, I'm so surprised.
I was convinced.
SLB.
So, I typed in why as well. And the first thing that came up is why did I get married? Oh, first of all, I want to let you know if there's a flaw. I am not married. Some of us have made perfect life choices. I will be 24 next month, and I am happily not married.
That's good.
Yes, good. I'm
I
pushing
think
for
you
40.
need that as a bumper sticker.
I should.
Not married, have the fucking cans dangling from your car.
I don't think the girl I'm talking to would like that, though.
Don't drive by her house. Don't pick her up in that vehicle at the time.
Maybe I will. Maybe it'll just be like an in-your-face kind of thing. Just be like, yeah.
This is who I am, accept it, bitch.
Exactly.
Oh my god. That
So,
might not go well for you.
I don't think that'll go well, no.
That's burp count number 3 for Zorn.
Alright.
If you count, we have a little counter that you can't see. It's invisible.
We click it every time he burps. This is more exciting than the Rumble Strip game, I think.
I just
the
got a
Rumble
new
Strip
car.
has changed.
The Rumble
Come on, Jimmy.
Go Rumble Strip game.
Stan thinks you're a continuing source of inspiration. The Rumble Strip game.
Yeah, you had that, Rumble.
Rumble Strip Graham. Okay. I can't words.
The Rumble.
Shut up.
The Rumble Strip game.
Why? I'm perfectly fine. I only fucking
Words
stutter
are
while
hard.
we're recording. It's like I just subconsciously am sabotaging myself.
We're gonna get him one of those things that like plays his We're gonna type out his dialogue ahead of time. So
Yep,
you
I'm
can
just gonna put up two
teleprompter.
cards over here.
No, just put 2 fucking car batteries on my fucking nipples, and every time I fuck up, John just hits the button. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure I'll stop.
Are you
Ginger,
playing Crank
I'm
now?
game.
Jason Statham over here?
Yeah.
I'm game. Let's do it.
They'll probably get me hard on it, so just be careful where you hold.
Oh, alright. I might do it just for that reason.
Hey, Jess.
Can you feel it now, Mr. Krabs?
Going back to what the fuck we were talking about.
Rumble strip game.
The Rumble strip game just changed.
Why?
My new car, I just got a 2014 Impala, has this thing, when you go over the white line, it will beep and fucking yell at you.
I heard it firsthand. It will.
So why? So somebody explain to me why they put in new regulations on the Rumble Strip game. That upsets me.
Now it's just a counter. That's the way I look at it. Those ones that are really close, you can score points on those. It'll be half a point. But when he goes over the line without hitting the rumble strip, it's half a point now.
But you also, if you are in the car with somebody you play in the Rumble Strip game with, and they don't know that, they might not know. I mean, yeah, you're going over the Rumble Strip, but if that goes over the line, it goes off. You kind of have an advantage if you know and they don't. So you do got to let them know ahead of time that there's now an alarm that's going to blow up in your face if
Fair enough.
you even look at the white line now.
So going back to what we were talking about, what's your Google search?
Well, I actually just changed mine. Instead of doing why, I went, do American think? Now, there's a couple good ones on here, but I'll read them all and leave the best one for last. They modify it, so it's like, what do American think of the British? Why do American think they won World War II? First off, we did. Fuck you all.
Yeah.
There was no, like, why.
We
know
had
we
a
won.
bomb. We used the Enola Gay to fuck your ass.
Right? 2 bombs, one country called it quits. I think that's winning right there. What do American think of the English? What do American think of British accents? And the best, do American think Obama is a cactus?
There you go.
Oh my god.
That explains that prickly dick fucking us.
I just paid $375 because I don't have health insurance. I'm not a happy camper right now.
So that was the cactus then.
Yeah, I got fucked by a cactus.
Ladies
So, that's pretty impossible to beat. Mine was only why. I wrote why do we, and the first one that came up was fall asleep at church.
It's boring.
I wonder
Because it's racist.
because it's racist, as we talked about earlier.
Look, we
and it's
haven't-
probably pretty boring.
Look, we haven't had the white hoods in the church in a while. You know, they got rid of those after Vatican II.
Do you fall asleep at church?
No. If I...
Do you see people that fall asleep at church?
No.
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 So your church is exciting. You got that guy that yells a lot. Hallelujah! You're healed.
No.
I fell
Stand
asleep
up,
at
sing
church a
along.
lot.
Let me
Yeah, you do that like the Blues Brothers, where all this fucking part.
now let me clarify, so I can put an image. You know, church is a vague. You know, it
Now,
could
do you
mean
go to those
anything.
black churches where they're doing black flips down the hall?
Black flips.
Black flips. Yeah, it's rather than a backflip because they're black.
Oh,
It's because they kind of put like a double in there.
Yes, because I'm a French black man. Have you ever heard of a black Frenchman?
Yeah, they exist.
Haitians?
Black Irish.
Yeah, they're black Chinese. I know, that's something you gotta look up.
Okay. So to clarify, I am Catholic, so I do go to the church where they do
Roman?
have Roman
Agnostic?
Catholic.
Okay. JFK
So, yes.
over here?
What?
JFK over here?
Yes, I got JFK. You know, I go and have my bowl of Christ checks every morning.
Good.
Christ checks.
Let's all quote Dan Cook when he was still funny.
When he was still funny, yeah.
Moving on. So how are you guys with bees?
I'm
I
not
mean-
Nicolas Cage, so I'm good.
They're good for the environment. Like Albert Einstein quoted, if the bees were to disappear, we'd die out within 5 years.
Yeah, I'm fine with bees.
But are you afraid of them?
No.
No, because bees aren't the jerks.
Wasps.
Hornets and wasps are.
Yeah, they serve no economic purpose.
Nope.
Besides being a dick.
And
Economic or
and stinging
ecological
you multiple
purpose?
times.
Both. They've done nothing for the economy. They should really fix that shit.
Bees will not sting unless provoked. Hornets are like, fuck, I'm just gonna hit your dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're like the cats of the insect world.
Oh, they're like Guidos, like like Guido insects.
Guido.
You
You
look
gonna
at me.
mess with my cologne?
You gonna mess with me, huh? Hey, Leo. He looked at me funny. And there's like 20 of them that come swarming at you, sting your balls.
You think I'm funny? You think I'm here to entertain you?
Well, regardless, in Washington State, I believe, it was either Washington or Oregon, a truck full of millions of bees crashed. apparently he was not playing the rumble strip game properly.
Nope.
Nope.
And all these bees got loose on the highway. If you're afraid of bees, that's pretty much the worst day ever.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
who's afraid of bees. Nicolas Cage.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
He's not him just like driving behind that truck. Not the bees!
And know what the worst thing about that, for people who hate bees, they were not allowed to move the wreckage of that truck. And I don't know if there was traffic or not. They were not allowed to move that wreckage so those bees were moved.
I know
Yeah.
they saved a lot of them. They did kill a lot too, but there was beekeepers that came in and they grabbed a lot of them. And...
Yeah, they grabbed the ones they could save.
Yes.
There were 14 million bees on that truck.
How many did they save?
Didn't say.
They didn't
About
give
half,
numbers.
I think.
It's pretty hard to count that many.
Yeah.
Well, if they could count initially going on, they should be able to count coming out.
I'm sure there's some way they estimated it.
Yeah, I don't think they had a counter for them. They had like a little friggin' tweezers. Grab one, click, two, click.
Yeah. I am terrified of hornets.
Yeah,
Because they're
Absolutely
dicks.
hate them.
nature's asshole.
I really do hate hornets. I am
They
terrified.
serve no purpose.
I had 2 cans of pyrethrin, my old Buick in my backyard. The hornets decided to make a nest inside the fucking mirror. So I threw a rock at it one day. I see about 30 of them come out. No joke.
Wow.
In a mirror in my old car. So, pyrethrin. If you ever saw that show, Billy the Exterminator, it was on for like 2 years.
I like that show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He had those pyrethrin cans, which is like their absolute worst thing you can give them to kill them.
Mhm.
My dad got me 2 cans from work. You're not even supposed to legally own it. My dad works at the Navy base, so he was able to procure it for me. So I literally got 2 of these things with the fucking extended nozzles, and I just went to fucking town on those things. And I just sprayed 2 fucking cans into that fucking mirror. I hate hornets.
I would have soaked the whole fucking car at that
And then
point.
I found out there was a nest in my front yard, and I took the 2 half cans and killed the fucking nest in my front yard. I fucking hate those things.
Yeah, nope.
I've been stung way too many times. For
I'm
no reason. Fuck those things.
Not the bees!
Speaking of unnecessary death, that brings us to this week's Celebrity Death Match.
No,
well,
it's
I
always
would say
necessary.
initially these deaths weren't unnecessary.
They were necessary completely.
It's like Gladiator.
Well, the South will rise again, John.
I hope so.
This week we have JFK and President Lincoln. Do you know the 3 most famous people to get shot in the back of the head?
Lincoln?
Yep.
JFK?
Yep.
Lenin.
No.
Really?
The guy sitting in front of Pee Wee Herman.
What? Who?
Well, considering we don't know the guy's name.
Okay, Pee Wee Herman got caught masturbating in a movie theater.
Yep.
Yep, that guy.
The guy sitting in front of Pee Wee Herman.
Oh! Oh!
Mine is Pee Wee Herman. That is this week's Celebrity Death Match, though.
JFK versus
Lincoln.
Lincoln. We were originally going to have Lee Harvey Oswald and John Wilkes Booth, but it'd be a camping match, and nobody
No,
would
I
be...
already disproved the camping match because, like I said, John Wilkes Booth will go stealth mode and come up behind him.
So it'd be like playing 12-year-olds on COD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might bring them back later. We'll
We'll see.
figure it out. Maybe for a tag team.
Tag team would be good. Yeah.
All right, so MercGoat, why don't you go first?
Probably because I don't have anything yet.
Think of something. Think of your own reasoning in your sick, twisted ways and find out why he should win.
Alright, so this is my idea. I actually didn't think about this one, if you can't tell.
I think Lincoln.
Why do you pick Lincoln?
He has the black vote.
So JFK.
Yeah, but if you ask blacks, JFK or Lincoln, I think they go Lincoln because he gave him
I
freedom.
don't know. Black woman loved them some JFK.
Well,
Well-
so does Marilyn Monroe, but
Well, she got killed by a CIA agent, we found out.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, that's the JFK.
Mm-hmm. So, personally, since MercGoat is not going to be participating
Oh,
yet,
I'm going to participate. I'm running
said
the
right
story.
yet. I said right yet. All right, so we all know that Abraham Lincoln also kills zombies on the side.
Vampires.
Vampires?
There's both of them. There is a vampire hunter and a zombie hunter.
Yeah, I've seen him. Okay, so he does zombies and vampires on the side.
Vampire was Tim Burton.
No, they did vampire for
Abraham Lincoln, vampire killer.
Yeah.
One of them was high budget, one of them was low budget. I
Yeah,
believe the
zombie
zombie
was
one
low.
was the low budget.
Yeah, I've seen the zombie one, of course. So, I guess since he's killed vampires and zombies, what he's going to do is he's going to come up in his zombie and vampire slaying adventures, and he's going to find the zombie of JFK. JFK is going to come at him, and it's going to be not, one of the slow zombies. It's going to be definitely one of the Romero-type zombies where it's going to be in your face, eating your face. You know how it goes. And, what's going to happen is Abraham Lincoln, he's going to stand there with his mighty axe, and with one foul chop, it'll be Lincoln, and only pieces of JFK.
I will elaborate now that he mentioned that on Lincoln, on top of the zombie and vampire hunting. Yeah, JFK, if I'm not mistaken, he was in a U-boat during World War II. Now, I'm assuming, so he's in the military, and Lincoln, I don't know if he was in the military, but he has vampire and zombie hunting skills. Now, there's a difference between being out, war, and then fighting zombies. I feel like you'd want to be more prepared for zombies because anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, war, anything can happen, but you can talk to the enemy and war can end. War don't end with zombies until they're dead.
They don't reason, they just eat you.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like he'd be a little more prepared, a little more going on in his head. I'm going to say Lincoln.
Alright, I got mine.
All right.
So, JFK is president. There's a rumor there is a new leader in Cuba. Supposedly, he just got some missiles. We also heard he has a very nice beard. Very tall guy. No one's really sure who he is, but he's running Cuba now. Everyone loves him. He wears that top hat. However, he's not too happy with what's going on. For some reason, slavery is still a thing in this era with JFK. Don't fucking know why, but it is.
Okay.
So,
What kind of scenario did you pop up, buddy?
I don't know.
All right, Merc, continue.
So, we decide, Civil War Part 2, we're going to go to war with Cuba.
It's not really a civil war now, is it?
Well, it's Part 2.
Who cares?
Is there anything like Hot Shots Part 2?
Like what?
Hot Shots Part 2.
Did you ever see Hot Shots with, who's that? Is that Charlie Sheen in
Yeah,
that?
it's Charlie
No, I
Sheen.
haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah, those are funny. Anyways, Civil War Part 2.
We go to war, and the Cubans have landed.
So they're aliens as well?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, in a sense, they are.
Aliens.
So they all take their rafts, and they land in Florida. It takes them a couple days.
Well, I'm assuming they have like one little like rowboat and they can fit like 50 people on there. They're
No, they're on a
Cuban.
door.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, door sailing. My favorite pastime.
Yeah, like Emilio Castroneves, whatever the fuck his name was.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, whatever the fuck his name was.
He's making us lose the black viewers. You're getting rid of the Latino ones right here.
I'm getting rid of the zombie and vampire
So
ones.
Florida becomes this massive, massive battleground.
It's called the Battle of the Tip.
And then you see
That's it.
a giant bearded man they call Lincoln on a white horse drinking tequila. And JFK pulls out a sniper rifle, takes him down. We find out that Abraham Lincoln never died. He went into the future to save Cuba.
All right.
So this like sounds like Terminator, except you're going forwards almost.
I don't know what the fuck. I didn't have
Sounds like a
anything.
crackhead's wet dream.
Yeah.
If you can top that, I'll give you $1. Not for creativity, just the randomness, though.
Okay.
All right, Ginger.
So here we go. I already thought this one out.
All right, people. This is gonna be interesting.
This is what happens when Merc isn't prepared for Celebrity Deathmatch.
So you put JFK and Abe Lincoln in a ring. Abe Lincoln grabs the axe. JFK, he goes after a samurai sword, a katana. He's wanting that. They're going at it, clashing, like, near stalemate. Out of nowhere, JFK's head blows up. John Wilkes Booth was, Lee Harvey Oswald was in the stand. Abraham's like, yes, I got it. Boom. John Wilkes Booth comes up behind him. And then somewhere out in the distance, Robert Kennedy falls in a plane.
Oh god.
So who the fuck won?
Nobody.
Alright, so I went with JFK. You both went with Lincoln, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
Lincoln still wins.
Lincoln wins.
It was a draw.
So, as probably all our listeners do, you probably drive in Rhode Island. It's one of my least favorite fucking things to do, not being from here.
I like driving, but we don't like being from Rhode Island.
I'm a lovely Rhode Islander. I love it here.
I don't hate the state. I don't hate the people in it, but...
No, I hate the people in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, you hate the people in it. I hate some of the people in it, but I absolutely despise the driving. I grew up in a place where people know how to drive, so it's a little frustrating
that?
for me. Pretty much anywhere but here.
Oh, actually, I hate Boston drivers, but that's me.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Massachusetts is equally as bad. I'm not from Mass, of course.
But they admit they're assholes.
But they're honest about it.
Oh yeah, they're massholes. They understand.
They call themselves massholes.
Okay, please go on.
So I wrote rules, and we can all debate these as I go on, about how you drive in Rhode Island.
Excellent. I'm some beers in. This is gonna be fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. So the first rule in driving Rhode Island is, what the fuck is a blinker?
What is a blinker?
Exactly. No one knows how to use.
No, seriously, what's a blinker? I don't know what a blinker is.
Exactly. You've never heard of it, clearly because you never use it.
Usually, I flip my finger out the window and tell them to go fuck themselves. You know, as they're.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's.
That blinking light does not mean speed up and block the person in.
I used to actually have a car
sure?
where I had to use my hand
I'm
signals to tell people where I was going.
At least you made an effort, so more power to you. The second rule, always stop at a yield sign. They're equal to stop signs.
No, they're not. First off, yield means yield. Yield means slow down.
I'm being sarcastic,
Okay.
asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, these are Rhode Island rules of driving.
Oh, these are Rhode Island rules?
No, yes. No, you yield at a stop sign. You stop at a yield sign, then you yield at a stop sign.
Especially when you have your own merging lane for like 200 feet, and you just can't wait and you want to get right into the two main lanes, even though you have your own special fucking lane, but you're not cool enough to use it.
I mean, personally...
That happens all the fucking
Green
time.
means go, red means stop, yellow means speed the fuck up.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing is with...
Just make sure the person in front of you thinks the same thing. Rule number 3. If you're going to travel below the speed limit, always do it in the passing lane.
Yes. That's the... It's the most spacious of lanes. It's really the lane you always want to be in.
Who gives a fuck if the guy wants to go 80 behind you? I'm
you-
going to do 50.
You establish
Exactly.
dominance in
That
that
guy.
lane.
Yeah.
It's the lane you establish dominance with the other
I've
drivers.
heard people from the state literally tell me they're going over the speed limit. I can slow them down if I want. They have no business going that fast. When did you come to fucking highway patrol?
You know, it's a passing lane. Yeah, I'm going over the speed limit, but that's because you're driving like a jackass in the middle lane.
People driving slower are more dangerous than people driving faster. That is a scientifically proven fact.
And I've had an argument with people who drive slow, like old people specifically. Look, if you're old, I don't know why you're not driving faster. You should be driving faster because you have less time on this earth than the rest of us.
You should be stealing everything. You should no longer have to pay for shit. That's all I'm doing when I'm old.
People in the state do two things. They go 20 miles below or 20 miles over. There's never anyone going the speed limit. The 20 over, 20 under, always.
Over.
Well,
I'm over, but...
I've definitely seen the 20 under. There was once this one guy I drove with. He was high as a kite. We were going 5 miles an hour down the road. I'm like, dude, we need to speed up. He's like, we're going like a bat out of hell. No, we're not. You need to speed the fuck up.
Yeah, if a bat out of hell, like, was in a wheelchair and was autistic, yeah.
Exactly. He was the autistic bat out of hell.
Next rule. Tailgating is required. Even if there's an open lane where you could clearly pass this guy. And use the passing lane to pass him. No. You have to tailgate him.
All the time.
All the time.
Yep.
Right up their ass.
That's true.
It also helps if you're swaying in the back seat, making hand gestures, letting that person know how much faster you want to go when you have clearly a passing opportunity.
And of course, the solution to solving those tailgaters is the sudden brake check.
Yep. Exactly.
I love when cops brake check me.
I love brake checking people when they're on my ass. It's absolutely my favorite thing to do. And then when they try to pass you, fucking floor it. That's the best thing you can ever do.
Yep.
So you are actually contributing to the assholeness that
Oh
is Rhode
yeah,
Island.
if I can make him hit someone coming the oncoming way and kill that person, I will. You think I'm kidding? I almost did it twice.
Oh my god.
Once was
Merc.
Once was a week ago with Jess in the car. She was laughing her ass off.
You're a special goofy, Merc.
Oh, I am. That brings us to the next rule. Never, ever, under any circumstances, show courtesy to other drivers.
Yep, no. Always on the offense. You're the only person who knows how to drive on this planet.
Yep.
Nobody else does. Treat him like a retard.
You're always right.
If you see a blinker, you speed up and don't let them in, no matter how fast they're going.
Apparently there's another rule, Spider-Man, no one knows like a spider can.
Also, Spider-Man loves Nilla wafers. That's not a rule.
Nutty bars!
No,
Nutty
he's wondering
bars.
if you are not entertained yet.
Excellent.
As we're doing this, John is playing with toys and nutty bars.
Like, I'm not playing with them, okay? They just have to be
No, you're
around
playing
me.
with
They
them.
have to be around. He doesn't want to be a player. He wants to be
Where'd
a
that
kid.
Batman go that you throw?
All right, next rule.
Put them side by side.
One of the most important rules of driving. Always bring your God complex when you drive in Rhode Island. You are, in fact, better than everyone. You are always right.
I do that in general.
If you cut someone off and they honk at you, it is your duty to flick them off and let them know that what you're doing is wrong, but that doesn't matter because you are still in the right.
Yes, you are
I
still
do
the
that with
god
everything.
here.
I do that with sex. I do that with work.
That's
I do
right.
that.
You come too early, it's her fault.
Damn right
You
it
get
is.
looser, bitch.
Right?
You gotta learn when you want to come. Not my job.
You come on my command.
That's right. Next rule.
Are you there yet? No, you better well get there.
Next rule, if you're in a parking lot and you need to pull out, wait until someone is coming, because that is the best time to pull out. Because you want to see someone to see you
Personally, I
doing
never
your
pull out, but that's a different story.
actions. With cars.
Okay.
What you do with your girlfriend, I don't really give two shits about. Especially
With
if
his
you,
girlfriend?
especially if you're a slow driver.
I'm talking about my girlfriend.
Especially if you're a slow driver, pull out really fast and then drive 20 below. That's always the best fucking... People love when you do that.
Oh yeah, you really are starting to create relationships on the road by doing that.
Another rule. Middle fingers are the best language in the entire world.
It says everything.
Well, yeah, it's our hello. Every time somebody flips me off and is like, fuck you, I'm just like, I hope you have fantastic colon movement. That's what I yell out the window to those guys.
You know, it says hello. It says goodbye.
Remember,
It says
it's their fault you drive like a douchebag. Remember that. We have 2 more rules. First one, high beams all the time.
all the time.
Who cares if no one else can
12
see?
o'clock in the afternoon, high beams.
It's all about you. Make sure that you can see, even if everyone else is driving into the ditch.
They're a hazard, and make sure that they stray away from you, so they're not a hazard to you.
Well, yeah, if they go in the ditch, it's one less
And
driver on the road.
the most important rule, and the only state I've ever seen this in is, if you see an accident on 95 South and you're driving I-95 North, it is your job to slow down and look to make sure that you cause traffic in both sides of the highway.
You better be
That's true.
rubbernecking.
Rubbernecking.
Yes. Rubbernecking, gawking. I see it all the time. If there's an accident on one side of the highway, both sides are backed up. That is absolutely pathetic, and this is the only state I've ever seen that in.
I've seen it in all.
Well, you just gotta make sure the person is okay from the other side.
It does. I'm not saying it doesn't happen elsewhere, but I've seen it only here.
Look, even if the space in between is 100 yards away, you gotta make sure that person on the other side of the highway is okay by slamming on your brakes, so everyone else rear ends you. They're fine.
So,
You are always right.
yes. So that ends this segment. Now you know how to drive in Rhode Island.
Fuck you.
That brings us to our last major.
Also, make sure your car is beaten up and looks like it'll never pass inspection.
Yes.
But yet somehow always does.
Well, that's, the number one export of Rhode Island. Hot stickers.
So that brings us to our final main segment of the day. We've been meaning to do this for about 4 weeks now. We're finally going to do it. Herbie, as we've mentioned, or also known as Zorn, was going to do Reality A and mention his game that he created. Unfortunately, we just decided to keep him as a guest, and now he's here.
Yes, I found a permanent place among all of the weirdos. I'm very happy to be here.
We're finally able to take the rope and gag off of him so he doesn't run away from us.
Yeah.
It's not forced
We
anymore.
still got a car battery hooked up to his nipples, even though I'm probably going to be wearing it next week.
Well, I got to try it out for you. So, Reality A. I'm sure some of you out there have been like, what the fuck is Reality A? Everybody talks about it sometimes, but it is a tabletop role-playing game. If you guys don't know what it is, just think of D&D. Almost everybody knows what D&D is, except it's better. So
Why is it better? I'm actually going to interview you. Why is it better?
I don't know, I like D&D, and I used to play that quite often.
Fair enough. Well, D&D likes to pigeonhole you and make you go through, like, this dungeon specifically, this way. Or, this module must be run this way. If you do not, you must die. I'm not dogging D&D. D&D has a fantastic, history behind it, and it's had its ups and downs, and it's a good system, but I am very biased. I've even had the guys that made D&D come and play Reality A for me. Their specific gripe with my game was there are too many D6 being rolled. But in my game system, so you guys understand, it is a D6 and percentile game system. You get to roll percentiles to figure out exactly if you succeed or not. And D6s are already used for damage and healing and shielding.
So would you say that with the limited amount of dice, the game is more simple?
Well, I like the simplicity that I've put into it. The hardest part is making a character, and, of course, making a character, the hardest thing is choosing a name, as any gamer knows. But I happen to think that specifically I've taken a bunch of different games that I liked and took things from it. The rolling system is mostly taken from the old Marvel game. I don't know how many geeks we have out there at the moment. Maybe 2, 3,
You're pushing it.
none. Well, I know one guy. Hi, Steve. So...
Steve's gonna be sitting on his couch like, he mentioned me!
Steve is now our #1 fan. Welcome, Steve. You get the first free t-shirt when we make them.
He's gonna hold us to that.
That's
so
fine.
You know,
That's fine.
he waits anxiously by his computer to see us post, and he listens to it immediately, just so you guys know.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Now we just need 1,000 more people like that. We're one down, 1,000
Gonna
to
give a
go.
shout out to Mitchell out there. I don't know if anyone out there named Mitchell, but if they are, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, hell yes, I'm mentioned.
Hey, Merc. You're doing good, buddy.
So anyway, the biggest thing that I've tried to do is marry a bunch of game systems. I was saying Marvel. They had a very complex table system. I tried to streamline it and make it easier. Merc here has actually played the game, whereas my 2 other friends in the back, Ginger and SLB, they have resisted so far.
I
I
wish
would
at
like
the
to
time
play. I
we
just don't have the the same days off as you guys do.
We might
Well-
have to do that this summer.
Well, that'd be excellent. And then we can actually go over how you guys liked it.
However, SLB has played D&D with me in the past, and through certain things, it was not a good experience for either of us. And that's why when I started playing Reality A with you, I was a little nervous at first, and still not really know what I'm doing. Not that I do now anyway, but that's not the point. The point is, I can at least proceed in the game.
Our problem was, and I don't want to point out any names. I don't want to. I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but the big thing we had was every time we wanted to do something, the DM, yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
the DM was like, "No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that."
I asked for a sickle in the book that was in the book, and he wouldn't let me have it because it was not functional for his story. A bladed weapon.
Oh, yeah, was it that or was it the trident?
No, it was a trident. Sorry, it
Trident.
was a trident.
And you wouldn't let him have it.
Are you kidding me? In my game system, I have 3 guys running around in Iron Man power armor.
Speaking of tridents, when we play next Monday, I may have to try to get one.
That's fine.
Just in remembrance of that shitty...
Now, when I had a DM, or I was the DM, I'd follow the rule book, but there's a specific rule in D&D that says, it is called the most important rule in the Pathfinder book, like, your core book. It said that all these rules are here for a guideline. According to the DM's rule, they can change or just be completely taken out of the equation. They don't have to be 100% followed. This is just a simple guideline to how you play the game. They can be, like, it's just not so it's like, here's all the rules etched in stone. Like, no. And one of the DMs I had, he was very lenient to logic. If it made sense, he would allow it.
That's always fair.
That's very fair. Like, I don't see why a trident can't be shouldered in a weapon shop.
Mm-hmm.
It is a weapon. People would use it.
I actually once had a GM who took that rule, blew it up, and hung it as a picture behind him whenever he actually ran a game.
That's hilarious.
Which is good,
It's a great rule.
Do you have a website anyone can visit?
Yes, reality-a-games.com. That you can get my new rulebook at. You can peruse some of the meager things that are on the site. Every once in a while I have to poke and prod my web guy in order to get him to do something, but this one's actually kind of decent. I've had many that were crappier in the past. Apparently Ingress is acting up to me. I'm very sorry. And
They're taking our portals!
bastards! But back to what Reality 8 actually is. It's a modern-day RPG. As D&D and others of the ilk usually stay into the medieval times, which is perfectly fine. Mine's more modern day. And unlike most of the modern day games, mine is not as post-apocalyptic. A bunch of crap happened in the year 2006. A red mist surrounded the world, and 90% of the population fell asleep. There are 2 types that stayed awake in the 10%, so they're the minority. And then the 4 types of the majority, they stayed in, coma states from anywhere from 3 to 7 days. So, essentially, after that, most people would have a very apocalyptic sense. Like, oh my god, everybody got magic powers and psionic powers, the world's gonna end! But actually society kind of normaled, at least for a little while, in my game system.
What's normaled?
Well, there's still government, there's still order, there's still police. Not much has changed except for, there's a guy that can throw a fireball down Main Street. And now there are checks and balances to actually fix that. And also, there's a troll hiding under the bridge, and there's a fairy that's currently living in my ice box and won't leave my milk alone. Shit like that.
There's also a psychotic mercenary that likes to steal UPS trucks, put fuel air bombs in them, and drive them through buildings.
Well, yeah. That didn't work out very well for one person, though.
I found that hilarious. None the same. I didn't die in it, and that's all I was worried about.
That's true.
Also, we filled it with glitter and made it pretty.
Yeah, well, there's a specific thing. Glurpies, which I have made in my game systems. It's like fairy herpes. You crap out glitter whenever you walk.
Oh. That's a problem.
Yeah, currently,
So it's like me after the strip club.
Yes, apparently it's like Merc after the strip club.
You shit glitter after the strip club? Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who has that problem.
I say that. I've been to a strip club once in my life, and I wasn't even that impressed.
Nope, it sucked.
Well, I've never been to a strip club, but I do have a lot of people that want to be there when I go my first time. One of my other nicknames is Captain Save-A-Ho. So
let's all get hard-ons together. Come on, Zorn. It'll be fun.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm talking girls who are straight want to go just to watch what I do. They're going to put me in the front, give me a wad of ones, like a $50 wad of ones, and see how many girls I try to save. So, they all have bets.
To go somewhere else.
Yeah.
See how many wads of one I can fit up my asshole before I burst.
Ginger would do that.
He would.
Well, I got up to 30.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, there's a lot of things I'd like to add, but I'd actually like to have all of you play one day, and maybe we could actually record it.
All right. So this summer, we're actually all going to play as a game, and we'll do a review, talk about it, compare it to D&D, and continue this down the road.
Excellent.
Definitely suggest you guys check it out, too.
Yep, reality-a-games.com.
Moving on, we started doing drinking stories because 50 Shades of Ginger was a little hard to continue each week. Zorn, you still going to finish yours one week?
I will continue on mine one week, but we have the miraculous SLB with his.
So before I start this story, I do want to clarify that every time I tell a story, I get made fun of for this. If I'm sitting at a table, I pull myself in, I clap my hands together, and I rub them. Don't know why. Or I stand up. I'm a standing kind of guy, so I'm going to stand here with Ginger's dick in my face. My dick in Ginger's face.
We're not editing that out.
No. You guys get it raw and raunchy this week.
Fantastic.
So, I'm going to tell you my finest drinking story. First, let me fix my zipper because these pants suck. No, honestly, I bought these pair of pants. They're awesome. The thing's the zipper just has a mind of its own. Ooh, want to see?
Best time to fix your zipper is after a dick joke.
So my best drinking story, nobody here was here for this. Now, I don't think I knew anybody here for this one. This is what we call, in my family and in my friends group, we call this the blackout weekend. I'll tell you why. So I'm going to jump back to when I turned 21. It was the year I turned 21 a few years ago. I was dating this girl who did not let me have a drop of alcohol during my 21st birthday. I'm dead serious. From the 24 hours I turned 21, I did not have a single drop of alcohol. So, later, I broke up with the girl because the girl was psychotic. So, my buddy was got his 21st at the house. And I went to work, got home about 10. I got home and the first thing I did was I had a bottle and a half of Jameson hanging out at my house. I'm like, okay, don't think I ate anything. Opened up the first bottle, started just drinking. Straight drinking this bottle. Kept going. It's between 10 and 1:30. 1:30 is where everything went, around 1:30. I don't remember anything after 1:30. This is a Saturday morning now. 1:30 Saturday morning. So, I wake up the following morning and my brother Zach is yelling at me. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. You got work. I'm laying there. I'm like, I gotta go. I have work today. He's like, yeah, you do. You gotta go shower first. Why have to shower? You puked all over yourself. No, I didn't. And I'm sitting on, my couch. I fell asleep with my head tilted to the left. And as I peeled my head up, you know when you pull your hand out of something mushy? It was like... And I looked down, and I had vomit on the side of my face going down my butt and up, down my pants into my couch. And I looked and I go, I'm gonna go shower. So I went to shower. Now, I was supposed to work from 12 to 4, 1 to 4 or something that day. So I'm in the shower, I'm showering. Look at it, I had half an hour to get to work. It takes me about 20 minutes to get there. I'm like, Kind of like wailing back and forth, ass naked in the shower. Pick up my phone. I call work. Call my GM. Hello? Hey, Matt, this is SLB. Hi, how are you doing? I'm a little drunk right now. I heard they called me earlier. I don't think I'm going to be able to come in, Matt. You're not going to be able... No, I'm not. Will you be in tomorrow? Yeah, Matt, you will see me tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. Now, hung up the phone. He seemed nice. My buddy Drew at the time told me he was in the office when this happened. That GM, and he was like the nicest guy. The guy pulled strings for everybody. Did not talk to me for a month and a half. Like my existence did not... Oh, let me clarify. It was the first of the month. So I called out on the first of the month when everyone gets all their, their welfare checks, the EBT to go buy food, and that's a crazy fucking day.
Because my other ride is an EBT.
Yes. So let me back up. Now I have to go ask my brothers what happened. And they're like, "Oh, we'll tell you what happened." So around 1:30 that morning, I was told, and I'm sitting there. They finally ripped the bottle out of my hands, and I was gone. I guess I looked at him. I go, "I'm gonna go to bed." I'm like, "Okay." So I start walking to the house, and my brother Zach yells at my friend Zach, "Somebody has to go get him." Why? Where'd he go? He went to bed. No, he didn't. He just went around the corner to the road. I started walking towards the road. So my friends went to go get me. I'm like, hold a second. No, he's good. I guess I started walking back, and I walked right into a fence. Ended up on my back like a turtle. And I was like, ah! Like arms and legs flailing everywhere. So I guess I tripped. This one I kind of remember. I remember walking, and I remember tripping over one of those little Tykes cars that my nephew had, and I face planted on the concrete step. And I conked out for literally 30 seconds. And I guess I got up and three of them, mind you, I'm like 140 pounds at this point. I'm not really that big of a guy, and I'm 5'2". Dragged me into the house. Fast forward now to after I call out of work. Mm-hmm. So they gave me, I was just filled with alcohol. And I remember looking at my friend Zach. I'm not even hungover. I go, he made mac and cheese. Hey, why don't you have a bowl of mac and cheese? Okay, I'll have some mac and cheese. Gives me a bowl of mac and cheese. Bring it upstairs. Waft it down. Passed out. About an hour or two goes by of sleep. And all of a sudden, I'm getting yelled at. It was, SOB, where the fuck's the mac and cheese? What are you talking about? Where's the mac and cheese? It's all gone. They made 4 boxes. Come to find out, I guess I ran downstairs and I ate all 4 boxes that were made.
Holy crap.
I don't even remember this. So then later on, everyone went out and I had to watch my nephews. So I'm like, oh, I'll watch my nephews. Now that's where the hangover kicks in. And I'm like, shit. Call my buddy Alan. Alan, can you watch me while I watch the kids? He's like, yeah, no problem. Hang up. I'm like, what if something happens to me and he needs to take care of me? Who's going to take care of the kids? So I made more calls. Called my friend Hannah. Hannah, can you watch me? Can you watch the kids while Alan watches me? Just in case something happens to me. So they came over. It wasn't about 11 o'clock the hangover kicked in. Following day I go to work. Friend Nikki, how you doing? I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk to anybody. Laughed at me. She was go on the floor. I'll call you if I need you. Monday, sobered up. So from Friday, 10 o'clock, literally from Friday to Monday, blacked out.
Oh, Jesus.
And he still hasn't drinking Jamerson since.
No, the first New Year's, me and Merc hung out, I did a shot and I wanted to vomit. It's one of those things.
Well, next week, we'll do another drinking story. Me or Ginger will do one.
So I can get kicked out of a state.
Me and Ginger can share that one. Should be very interesting. It's not very often you get kicked out of a state. Closing arguments. SLB.
Next week, as we said, gonna be around the corner for May, so maybe we'll start talking about the May releases for albums, concerts, movies. A lot of movies are getting released starting next week. So
a lot of stuff coming.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I have.
Zorn.
Next week will be the first week that we're actually going to shoot from my apartment. And it's going to be very, very nice, and hopefully we'll do a video thing for that as well.
We're excited. Ginger.
I would like to take this time on air to apologize to Miss Johnson for all the shit in her yard from my T-Rex. I mean, I had nowhere else to put it. It's still everywhere. Like, once you think you're done, there's more.
It keeps coming, huh?
Like, you ever see that episode of Family Guy where...
The epithet?
No, they went out of the... No, that's... American Dad. Roger turned the room, Steve's room, into a hotel. Like a little hotel boardroom. And the hotel board guy was like, he was a maniac. and he finds out he shit in everything. You hear Steve in the crowd like, "Oh my god! There's shit in a pillowcase! The bed is completely hauled out full of shit! There's shit everywhere!" Like, that's basically what it is with Spanky over here. There's just shit everywhere.
That's t-shirt number 3. There's shit everywhere. Just have a fucking T-Rex with a fucking dookie all over the place. Just fucking grinning from ear to ear. SLB, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I already did.
Maybe give me a look like you want to fuck me or something.
Maybe he does.
Yeah,
That's for off-air purposes only, okay?
That site is starting to take effect.
All right, Merc. You got a final comment?
I'm closing the show before someone tries to fuck me. That's my comment.
What's going to happen after the show? You might not want to close it.
Okay, let's keep going. So, how about them Patriots when they start playing? Like,
Wait, hold on.
They killed the competition. I'm sorry.
Is that a T-Rex outside?
Spanky found you, John!
What
the fuck you doing, Spanky?
And he just shit on Rob's new car.
Anyway, I'm Merc. Have a good night.
I'm Zorn. Have a good night.
Fuck you. I'm the SLB. It's the afternoon still.
Good night. No, Spanky! No! Do not shit on that! Are you not entertained?